Ever seen someone walk into a room so sure they'd already won? You almost wanted to warn them, "Hey, buddy, this isn't the movie you think it is." That was Richard Kane that morning. The oak doors of the courthouse swung open with a slam that echoed off the marble walls. And there he was, $1,000 suit, perfect hair, Italian shoes clicking like he was walking a runway. On his arm, a young blonde in a red dress cut, so sharp it could draw blood. She wasn't his wife. She smiled like she'd already moved into his penthouse. Richard grinned like the ending was already written, but the truth was the real story hadn't even started. Elena, Kane, his wife of 8 years, mother of their 5-year-old twins, sat on a hard wooden bench against the far wall, her hands folded in her lap. Navy blue dress, natural hair pulled back neat. No flash, no fuss, just the quiet poise of someone who knew exactly who she was. Next to her, Patricia West, her lawyer, carried a folder so thick it could stop a bullet. "You ready?" Patricia asked under her breath. "I've been ready for months," Elena replied without looking up. Question is Richard ready for what's coming? Judge Harrison's silver hair, lines etched deep from years of ugly divorces, took the bench. Richard strutted in, arms still locked with Vanessa, because the blonde had a name, and slid into the defendant's chair like it was his throne. His attorney wasted no time. Accused Elena of cheating, called her reckless with money, questioned if the twins were even his. Vanessa crossed her legs slow, like she wanted the whole gallery to notice the red stilettos, her lipstick, her presence. Richard leaned back in his chair, waiting for Elena to crack. She didn't, not even a blink. And just above the judge's hand, a manila envelope, thick with papers Richard hadn't seen yet. Let me back up a sec. 3 months earlier, Elena had been folding laundry when Richard's phone lit up on the nightstand. "Missing you already, baby. Can't wait for Miami." He told her he was headed to Seattle for a conference. That text was the first domino. Elena didn't yell. She didn't throw the phone. She hired Janet, a PI, who looked like she'd bring cookies to the bake sale, but had once busted a human trafficking ring. And Janet? She delivered. Photos of Richard and Vanessa in hotels. Dinner dates. Jewelry bought with the same credit card he used for the kids' school fees. Offshore accounts in the Caymans. Shell companies. $75 million moved like pieces on a chessboard. And then the twist. Vanessa wasn't some random fling. Janet dug up 2 other billionaires, both divorced. Both paid Vanessa millions to go away quietly. She was a pro. And Richard? He was her latest paycheck. Elena didn't storm out. She smiled at breakfast, kissed him goodnight, all while she became her own intelligence agency. She copied documents, mirrored his emails, installed software on his computer. She ordered DNA tests for the twins not because she doubted, but because she knew he'd weaponize that lie. Results came back, 99.97% his. Then came the crown jewel, a recording from Richard's laptop. His voice low, almost whispering. "The sooner we get this over with, the better. Vanessa, the kids aren't your kids, remember? That's the story. No child support, clean break. Richard, what if the tests say they are mine? Vanessa, then we go plan B. Say she's unfit, push for custody. Either way, you keep the money. You know that feeling when rage goes cold? When you're past hurt, past shock, and all that's left is strategy." That's where Elena lived for the next month. She filed first full custody, half the assets including the hidden ones, $2 million a year alimony, and no room for quiet settlements. Back to that morning. Richard took the stand, posture perfect, voice smooth. Claimed Elena was unfaithful. Claimed he had reason to doubt the twins were his. Patricia let him talk himself deep into the lie, then with surgical calm, slid the DNA results onto the evidence table. "Mr. Kane," she said, 99.97% probability you're the father. Still want to keep that story?" He flinched. She didn't stop. Pulled out bank statements, property records in Vanessa's name, emails plotting to hide $75 million. Then the recording played. Richard's own voice, conspiring. Vanessa's voice, venom and silk. The gallery gasped. Even the judge's face hardened. When it ended, Judge Harrison leaned forward. "In 23 years on this bench, I have rarely seen such a deliberate attempt to defraud not just the court, but your own family. Patricia stood, her tone steady. Your Honor, given the defendant's conduct, we request full custody with supervised visitation, division of all marital assets including hidden funds, $2 million annual alimony for 10 years, and payment of all legal fees. Richard's lawyer glanced at the judge's face, saw no mercy, and folded. My client accepts. Just like that. Game over. But Harrison wasn't done. He referred Richard for possible criminal charges, perjury, fraud, and ordered every hidden asset returned. Vanessa? She slipped out during recess. 2 weeks later, indicted for conspiracy. The woman who built her fortune breaking marriages had finally picked the wrong wife to mess with. 6 months later, Elena sat on a park bench. Sun warm on her shoulders, twins laughing on the playground. Her phone buzzed a text from her babysitter. How'd the hearing go for your new client? Elena smiled. We won. She's getting everything she deserves. She watched Nathan race Olivia to the swings, their hair flying, no shadow of courtrooms or custody battles on their faces. Richard had walked into that courthouse thinking he owned the game. But the woman in the navy dress? She knew all the moves, and she walked away with everything that mattered.